Welcome back to our second episode of Closing Time. Today we are joined by Jessica Patterson, our favorite lender. We're going to ask her a few questions.
Hi guys, thank you for having me.
Our favorite lender.
Do you have another one that's your favorite? Can you tell us your background, like how you got started in the business, why you chose lending, what that looks like?
Yeah.
How long have you been in the business?
So 2025 marks my 22nd year in the industry.
Wow.
Long story short, I had graduated high school. I was doing the A+ program, doing my 2 years at Merrimack. Mom, I tried. All of my friends were already down at Mizzou, and I had my acceptance letter. I was going to go, after my second, however many semesters you get for the A+ program. And a family member at that time was working at a mortgage company, and they needed someone to just fill in because this girl Casey was going out on maternity leave. And so 18-year-old Jess goes into kind of just it was like a temporary clerk position. It was simply just data entry. Okay. Yeah. I loved it. It was just something that I excelled at. And so, I was 18 years old and was getting ready to go off 18. I was getting ready to start with my friends at Mizzou. And my boss at the time was just hey, we have a full-time position for you. And so, I was 18 making a salary, and
wow.
So I just stayed, and then have just progressed into different, roles within the lending industry over the 22 years. And for the last 12, for the last 12 years, I have been in sales and originating mortgages full time. So
I met you just when you started originating.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I met you, you did my refi.
Yep. Thankfully, I have had some really great mentors in my career. If she happens to watch this, Jamie Pandolfo is obviously the main one. Yep. I'm pretty sure your refi might have been under her name, but I did all of the work on it. No, it was just kind of one of those things. I have always been a little bit more reserved and an operations-based person. That it was Jamie kicked me out of the nest.
Go do it.
You're going to go into sales. You're going to succeed. I have faith in you. I just needed to literally be kicked out of the nest in order to take that leap.
That leads right into my next question is you're out on your own. How'd you build it?
Thankfully, at that time, I was able to sit inside of a real estate office, which helped me make a ton of great relationships. But even though that lasted for several years and such, I became best friends with some of my agents, and those relationships have carried on for 12-ish years now. And I will forever be thankful for sitting inside of that real estate office and getting to gain those relationships. But I think for myself as a lender, I'm not one that constantly is calling agents and begging to give a shot. Yeah. My people that I work with, I keep a very close group of referral partners because I think of you guys as friends. And maybe I can say this because I've been in the business for this long, but I choose who I want to work with because, I have the luxury at that point to work with those people that I like and enjoy doing business with.
So how did you've grown your business, obviously, by gaining new agents and building your business, but you surrounded yourself with a team. So how did that come and go, and what does that look like? What's your team like?
So the team evolved over the years. It wasn't always Team Patterson. It initially was Team Pandolfo, and then as Jamie progressed up the management ladder, it became my team, and the loan officers that came onto my team that I have with me right now. Basically, I'm more as a mentor. I know how to do the hard deals. I know how to be creative. I'm not a super salesy person, so I want to be in the weeds. I want to fix deals. I want to make them close. Whereas my people on my team, they thrive in those taking people out to lunches, golfing with agents, in that, so that's kind of how they came to join my team, was so that they can go out and do the things that they are good at and that they want to do, and be reliant that I am in the office and I will, make sure their deals close. And
So you want to give a shout out to your team? Who's on? Who's there? What do they do?
Yeah, their individual roles.
Yeah, what do they do?
First and foremost, we've got Rachel S. Rachel's awesome. Rachel is the glue that keeps everyone together, and she is, I hate to even call her an assistant because she manages all of us, if we're honest. Then you've got Missy Pallich. Missy is a loan officer. She has been with me the longest. I think we determined she's been on Team Patterson now for 7 years. Wow. It's been a while. And then Jim Donovan joined Flat Branch November of 2023 and joined the team, and thank God to him, we needed a man on the, like, we needed a boy on the team, you know, like, sometimes, you know, get some male energy in there, and he's amazing. And then we, of course, have Amy Lucanati, who is our processor. She's our bulldog. She doesn't talk with clients or agents. Like, Scott only knows her personally because he's helped her with real estate stuff. But she's, I mean, honestly, her and Rachel run us. It is my team, but it should be Team Amy and Rachel. So
yeah, I've gotten emails and phone calls from them before, and like if you're on vacation or something like that.
Yeah.
They're behind the scenes just kicking butt.
Absolutely, they are.
Say that I'm a buyer. What can I do today to prepare myself to get ready to buy in 2025?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think your first step is probably just to talk to a lender. It doesn't have to be like a scary conversation where you're forced to pull credit or give all of your income and asset information, but just to have a quick conversation to understand what programs are out there, maybe a ballpark on what a payment might be, just to kind of, you know, get your feet wet in that. And there is a way now for a lender to do what they call like a soft credit pull versus a hard credit inquiry, so that like if someone's not sure of where their credit scores might stand, it's kind of like peeking at your scores without it being a hard inquiry, just so that we can kind of give some tips and recommendations from there. I don't recommend that to someone that is truly wanting to like get approved and start the process, because we're going to have to pull your credit anyways. But
yeah, everybody's all scared because it's going to ding my credit. I don't want to talk to anybody yet.
Yeah.
You know, but that's obviously
I hear that
step.
all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's better to do that if you're 6 months out, do that versus wait until you're ready and then you find out, oh,
you need to work on credit some, or
we talked about, we love people who say, oh, I'm going to buy a $300,000 house, until they talk to you and find out that they're going to buy a $230,000
oh my gosh
house.
Like that's the issue with Zillow though right now, because like, and I think most people they don't think Zillow is 100% accurate anymore, but like that payment calculator at the very end of looking at a house, they don't read the fine print that's with like at least 20% down payment, no private mortgage insurance. I don't even think that Zillow estimates the actual tax bill of that property. Like it's such a fictitious payment that people do see a $300,000 house, and Zillow is saying that payment's $1,100 a month, which is completely wrong.
So speaking of that, what options, you're talking about 20% down and all that, what options are there for buyers? Because everybody we talk to, we were talking about that, everybody said, I don't have 20% down. What options are out there for people who feel that they need the 20% down, but they actually don't, and maybe they don't have the best credit scores? What are we thinking?
So, I mean, there are several programs available in terms of like, the only two no down payment loans are going to be USDA and VA. Obviously, for those, VA, you have to be a veteran. USDA, I mean, in our areas, if you're in our viewing areas, we're talking beyond Wentzville, down Festus. What am I kind of thinking? Like, it's out there. It's your outline areas that are possibly 0% down loans. Aside from that, you've got conventional, which you can do as little as 3% down, or FHA 3.5%. So there are low down payment options for buyers. It's just each program has its own little caveats and niches to it.
Right, and it also depends on credit scores. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, and USDA, I think, it basically covers like 11 square miles total. Something like that. It's so small.
In our area, I mean, it's hard. And plus, there's income limits associated with USDA that do, unfortunately, kick some buyers out.
But yeah, so credit scores can affect all that as well. And there's like job longevity, or how long you've been in a job.
Yeah, I mean, most lenders can work through that. I mean, essentially, if you have had a job for at least 2 years or more, they can figure out a way to make it work, unless you were salaried before and now you're commissioned. Well, that's an issue. It's going to depend on the pay type.
Okay.
But yeah.
What about any other programs that might be available, like through your company? Is there any assistance for first timers?
Absolutely. So my favorite one is called Flex Funds. So Flex Funds is... I wasn't good. Sure. Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding,
ding. So Flex Funds is paired with a conventional loan. So typically someone putting 3 or 5% down could be eligible for Flex Funds. You do have to be one of the borrowers has to be a first-time home buyer. You have to be at or under 80% area median income, which just means there's an income limit, which I think right now is like $82,000 and some change. I don't remember it off the top of my head. And
is that for the pair or?
For the pair, yes. But let's say that, boyfriend, girlfriend, you only need one person's income to qualify, but the other person pushes them over, we just omit their income.
Gotcha.
So it's not like total household like some of the down payment assistance programs. It's only qualifying income for this. But it's basically 2% of the sales price up to $4,000 max that we just offset at closing for closing costs. It's a non-repayable, like forgivable at closing, just free money that Flat Branch gives people if you qualify for it.
Nice.
Yeah, we were talking about how it was very helpful for Andrew and I when we used it. I'm fine talking about it. We put 5% down and we got those flex funds, and our goal originally was to save up 20%, and we were almost there, but it really helped us doing that because the house that we bought was more dated, so we had more cash to go in and do things like fix up, paint the walls, start fixing up the kitchen, do things that needed to be done, and not feel like we just spent all this money on a house and now we can't even buy furniture. Yeah. So it was definitely very, very helpful.
Then you also have like your traditional down payment assistance programs like MHDC, and I'm trying to think of what MHDC is a Missouri housing grant, so it's for the entire state of Missouri. It gives you a certain percentage of your loan in the form of a down payment, and it is a 0% interest second mortgage. So like if you sell or refinance in the first 10 years, you're going to pay that back. So, which is fine. I mean, most people when we talk through it is what is like the standard rate of appreciation in St. Louis? Like at least 3 or 4% each year.
5, yeah.
So the grant gives you 4% at closing. So typically within the first year or two, that homeowner has enough equity in that home when they go to refinance to just roll that grant money in, but you get the grant money at closing. So it's a wonderful grant if you can qualify for it. It's not free.
From an agent perspective, what are things that we can do to help make the process easier on your side and for the buyer?
Yeah.
Ooh, good question. I mean, you both are wonderful because you guys do not give any wrong information. But I would just say, if you're not certain, like I have some buyers that will come to me with their agent said that closing costs are $2,000 or, just wrong information that then is a little challenging to overcome.
Right.
So I really do appreciate that you guys don't talk, like we stay in our own lanes, but you guys, just like I don't negotiate inspections or put together contracts. Like I appreciate it when,
Yeah, we definitely stay in our own lanes because I don't want to have to go back on that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I always appreciate, we have been partners for so long together that like offering second opinions and stuff, whether or not I end up getting the deal, but just making sure that your buyer's more educated. And I mean, in the end, we all win in that.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, I learned a long time ago. I've been working with Jess for like 12 years. I learned a long time ago where my job starts and where my job ends. And I've learned to say that, that is way above my pay grade. And we're going to defer to the professional on that. I definitely do not overstep my boundaries on that.
Well, and just
We're gonna call Jess.
things change so rapidly in the lending world
Yeah.
and stuff that like what you may know to be true from a deal we did 2 years ago
Right.
might not be the case anymore for the lending side, just like with all the changes that you guys have gone through this year. Like we just,
Yeah.
On the business side, now shifting gears to more like personal funsy stuff.
Perfect.
This is a little bit business.
Yeah. What is your craziest story or like deal craziest? What am I trying to say? What is your craziest deal?
Craziest story or craziest file you ever
File, thank you.
Yeah.
This wasn't even my file, but this was probably, I don't know, within the last 10 years or something. And it was when Jamie was originating. And so she had a client that kept saying that the money for closing was coming from a trust. And so you know this story. You know this story.
I remember this.
And so actually, I don't even think the lady was getting a loan. I think it was a cash deal. It was just an agent we worked with.
Yep.
And this was before you guys were asking for like proof of funds on a regular basis and things like that. The money was coming from a trust. Trust in God that the money would just appear at closing is what happened
That's what
the
it
day
was.
of closing. So that to this day probably takes the cake still of the craziest.
One of the coolest things, though, I did see is that I had a referral client that was moving here from the UK.
I still know his name, yeah.
Yeah, no social security number, no work history, no nothing here in the United States. Nothing at all. Put him in touch with Jess. She said this, and this. Was it a year, maybe?
It was about 6 months. I think
6 months.
he was getting his social like issued to him within a few weeks.
Yeah.
And so it was basically like start building credit, get a credit card. He happened to work in that building right behind here.
Right across the way here.
Yep. Really?
And so within 6 months, Jess had his credit as such that he bought a $500,000 house and moved from the moved from the UK here. Yeah, that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. She's like, yeah, do all this stuff and you'll buy a house, and he did. So yeah, more some personal stuff.
Okay.
Who's your favorite agent?
Come on, guys.
I mean, it's Scott.
It's whoever sends her a deal that day is what it is.
Between the two of you or between all of us? Like everyone I know.
You don't have to.
Okay, thank you. What I normally say in this situation, thank God my mom got into real estate because it's my mom. I wouldn't be able to choose.
All right, shout out to Rhonda. There you go.
What is your favorite restaurant?
Ooh, okay. So if it's like a birthday anniversary thing, Paul and I really love Twisted Tree. Like it's just such a good place. We did just recently have book club last week. I had never been to Katie's Pizza and Pasta over here.
I've never been there.
It's amazing. Like that might be my new go-to. Yeah. You know, I've always been an Edgewild girl. Like if you've got a good wine selection, but this Katie's Pizza and Pasta over here in Town and Country was
What'd
amazing.
you get?
The names of the dishes are a little unique,
yeah.
but it was essentially a pepperoni pizza that had hot honey on top of it, and then those the chili flake paste. You know what I'm talking about?
Like the chili crunch.
Yeah,
or something.
It was incredible. Then we had
Let's see. I'm good.
a fried artichoke salad that had goat cheese balls and fried artichoke. It was amazing.
That sounds good.
New place to go when we're at the office.
Yeah.
I know the answer to this, but I'm going to let you talk about it a little bit. Dog or a cat person?
Oh gosh, dog for sure. My 3 children. Yeah.
Names?
We've got Maggie, who is 11. She's a boxer. No, I lied. Maggie will be 11 on St. Patty's Day. She's almost 11. Bianca, who is if I could have a child, it is Bianca. She's 10. She is a Staffordshire Terrier. And then we've got Mickey, who is, I think, 6 or 7. We don't actually know his age because he was a rescue dog that was found on the street, but he's a little Boston Terrier, and yeah, they're my babies.
I forgot to tell you, we did a dog DNA test on both of our dogs, and both of them are significantly Staffordshire Terrier.
Really?
Which I was I literally didn't know that breed existed until I knew about your dog.
Breeds ever.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Dog DNA.
We don't have kids either. So
I know, right? So yeah.
So what is your dream vacation?
I would say, I'm not a beach person. I'm sorry. But
Really?
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh, that kind of surprises me.
I'm a lake person. My favorite trip I've probably been on, I loved Lake Tahoe. That was amazing. I don't know, I would want to go to either Germany or somewhere in England, see the castles. You know what I mean? Scotland, Ireland. I want to see the lush green and the castles. And
we were talking about that yesterday. We both said Germany too. I've been to Germany, but I want to go back so bad.
I've never been to Europe.
Really?
I've been States and Mexico. That's about it. So yeah, would love to go over there.
What is your favorite way of killing time when not working?
Well, I feel it's going to get banned here soon, but TikTok. I've become a huge TikTok person.
Andrew last night was you've got just a few days left. Get it in.
Oh my gosh.
Well, what about with you and Paul?
Oh, if my husband is involved. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We trips and stuff. We ride our side by side a lot, and that's what we enjoy to do. And we're going to hopefully start building a house here in the next few months. So spending a lot of time at that property trying to get it ready.
Nice.
All right, you
want to do
Okay, last question. If you weren't doing mortgage lending, what would you be doing?
Oh, something for sure with animals. Paul and I had talked about this when we, retire, and because it's always been our dream to live on a larger piece of property. We went out of a subdivision and stuff, and we had talked about opening up a pit bull rescue or something like that.
I just got chills.
I feel
I love pit bull.
Same. I was saying Staffordshire Terrier just to be PG for whoever might be watching, but pit bulls.
Scary.
So that is probably which you should follow. It's Missouri Pit Bull Rescue out of Kansas City.
Is it gonna make me cry a lot?
You're just going to want to drive to KC and rescue all of these dogs. But that's probably what I would be doing, is definitely something with dogs. And not that I don't love all dogs, but pit bulls are just, they're
misunderstood.
Yes, and they need a little bit more love, So yeah, that's what I would be doing.
Well, cool. Well, thank you very much for
Thank you for having me, guys.
That was fun.
Yeah. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah. Woo.